we start seeing things from a different perspective when we bring younger leaders into a industry like oil and gas. We bring women leaders into an industry like oil and gas. We start seeing brand new perspectives come because what we start seeing is people see the world different than we do. And when people see the world different than we do, it leads to change. And when it leads to change always brings opportunity. I was having a discussion this last week about this COVID is so horrible, horrible, horrible. But one of the things I let people know is every time that there's a challenge, every time something happens, it does open up opportunity. And that's what we want to see is we want to see the opportunities and how do we actually go, how do we actually go capitalize on these opportunities? And that's going to be the important thing. Like I said this week, you hear my voice going in and out. I was recording my ebook and I think I'd spent about 8 hours behind the microphone this week, just really getting it to go. So we're really going to do what we can to keep the voice going here. So we're going to wrap things up in a minute. We got 2 minutes, but there's a lot of great things going on. We talk about change. Hear what's going on here at Now Media. We've got a new TV station coming. We talked about it last week. We're moving over to a little bit new format. We're going to have our own TV station. We got a lot of things going like that. And so we've got to be pushing this out and seeing what's happening because it's been funny is we actually had somebody, this guy Hugh, I talked to Hugh on my way in here, man, but he was in Virginia, picked up the phone and called the station last night, talked to Juan and went out and found me, and Hugh and I talked today and say, hey, how can we go change the world and change what's going on? It's pretty interesting now starting to see the reach that we have and where people are hearing about us from. We mainly, when we get on Facebook here like we are right now, doing it on Facebook Live before we push it, push the recordings out, we only have 2, 3, 4, 5 people, listening to us. But we're finding out as this goes farther and farther and farther out, we've got more people and we're getting more reach, and that's what it's going to be all about. So, man, I'm really excited today to have Laura in here. It's going to be interesting to hear her perspective on what it's like to grow a new business in 2020 and, go out and ask investors for money and bring your business plan and the challenges that come with that and the successes and where she's actually going to bring this thing to. So that's what we're really looking to do here. So Jonathan, we about ready to wrap up? All right, so we're going to wrap it up. We're going to be back in just a minute. So we're going to have Laura Statler on, and we're going to start talking about innovation in business and how to make major changes.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hi, this is Scarlett Horton. You may remember me from the morning news. We know that finding the right team for your painting project can be overwhelming, and if not done right, a painting project can easily go over your budget. At CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, our professionals will ensure your residential or commercial painting projects run smoothly and are convenient for your schedule, leaving you time for what matters most. CertaPro of Central Houston has been serving the Houston metro area for more than a decade and has a solid reputation. You can read reviews from our clients and see examples of our work on our social media pages, letters of recommendation, website, and Google reviews. Additionally, at CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, we warranty our work for 2 years. We offer free color consultation. We do residential and commercial jobs, interior and exterior, and we are licensed and insured. Not to mention, we are experts in painting cabinets. CertaPro is the largest painting contractor in the USA. Our crews are not only qualified and skilled painters, they are the best at what they do, and we are always on time. Let our experts at CertaPro of Central Houston transform your home and business. Our proven process gives you more time to enjoy moments that matter in the spaces you love. Alfredo, Mallory, and John are experienced professionals who will work with you every step of the way to ensure a flawless finish. Call us today at 713-824-5166 and let CertaPro of Central Houston handle with ease, efficiency, and high professionalism your next residential and commercial painting project. because the world needs color.
Boom. Hey, this is your business guide, Michael Rager, and I'm back. And I didn't even mention the weather today. So look out there. It's nice. It's beautiful. It's not raining. It's chilly out here from Houston.
Very cold.
But here we go. We got our guest, Laura. Laura, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am great, man. It's awesome. We planned this about a month ago when we met, and I'm looking so excited to have you on here and talk a little bit about what's going on in your world. So tell us a little bit about the new things that you're doing and bring into the energy world.
Okay, I'm not sure where to start on that. It's been fascinating. So with COVID and all the layoffs in oil and gas, it's been kind of a free-for-all. And everyone either went home and did their own thing or tried something new, and I tried something new. So I put together a couple business plans that were kind of large scale, and I ran for it.
So tell us a little bit about the basis, because I know you got some pipeline influence and stuff like that, right?
Well, yeah. So there's some virtual pipeline, which is going to be all the trailers to move hydrogen.
Okay.
And we also do CNG, argon, helium, all different kinds of things. It's going to help launch the infrastructure for hydrogen to make it launch faster.
So you're looking to take hydrogen versus hydrocarbon as a fuel source? Is that some of the way you're going, or what do you think?
Some of it, yeah. So hydrogen is basically something that is a source that connects all the different energy sectors, whether it's wind, solar, oil and gas. Everyone can either make it or it's a byproduct, and we can help transport it.
Okay, so everybody's got a play in it, and everybody's got it. Now, what do we do with it? And you're trying to find a way to make it profitable.
Right. So they'll call me and say, hey, we want to make hydrogen. And I'm like, great. What are you going to do with it? And they're like, we have no idea. I'm like, okay. So because there's not a pipeline for it, really. So if we can come in, we can pick it up and we can distribute it. And that's going to be our main goal.
So is it, I know when we talked a couple weeks ago, are you going to be building new pipelines? Are you going to buy existing pipelines? What's the plan going to be to move hydrogen from point A to point B?
It's the trailers is the first core part.
Okay.
Second part is finding alliances and people that will collaborate. So the midstream partners
Okay.
that I can look at and say, hey, what are you interested in? What can we help you with? Can we blend it? Can we help you with some of the offtake of whatever you might have? How can we make value for you, and how can we help each other with that value?
So what made you decide to say, I'm going to jump into this? It just wasn't COVID. You just weren't sitting here. You obviously saw an opportunity to innovate something.
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
It's a complicated story, but before I was laid off from oil and gas, I was working on trying to do geothermal wellheads.
Okay.
And with that being said, when I got laid off, I continued looking into geothermal. It was fascinating. I loved it. I made a business plan for it. Found a great business partner for it, but we couldn't find a way to not be dollar for dollar. So the other things that interested me a lot with geothermal was the byproducts of lithium and hydrogen, and doing basically a hybrid approach to geothermal with hydrogen. So dropping the geothermal away, which not to say that that's a bad thing. I think it's still fascinating, but we're going to just focus on hydrogen. And so after watching some of the international structures change, like in Germany, they went from all geothermal straight to hydrogen. And so following that movement, I started working with some investors and bringing this to light and saying, hey, this is where we could start. This is where it could end. This is large scale. It's going to be for the next, however many years and ongoing. And we loved it. And so I just took the jump and decided that, you know what, after talking to these investors, they were fascinated by it, and as much as I was fascinated by it, and I just kept driving into it. And it's been, I've been very blessed with who I've ran into.
Well, that's nice. That's awesome. I've dealt with investors in the past, and we were talking about this a little bit before. What's it like looking to try to find investors for business owners out there like you that they've never, like, I've got this great idea, but I know I can't do it by myself. What's it like to go out there and try to find investors?
It's scary. It's really scary. When I came up with the idea and sitting by myself at the time, I'm a single mom with two boys, and I'm thinking, I don't even know where to start.
Right.
I have never ran a business. I don't know Do I go and present? Do I go make a call and walk in like an interview? What is it? But honestly, I just threw myself out there and got on LinkedIn, really talked to people about, hey, what are you guys doing right now? What's the best route here? If I wanted to start something, who would I talk to? And just put myself out there and talk to people, and they led me to the right people. And I found a business partner up in that I used to work with up in Pennsylvania, and he took this to his investor, and who loved it. And we hit all the bullet points for the initiative. And so we're working on that contract, and if that goes through, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's nice. So where are you guys going to be situated first? Are you guys starting out of Houston? Are you starting where? And how do you see this thing exploding?
So we always looked at Texas as being the hub spot.
Right.
And during this time of promoting all of this to the investor, we were still missing a missing link, and that was Hydroco.
Okay.
So we grabbed Hydroco, great team. They're out of Mississippi, so they've been there for about 2 years.
Okay.
They'll be moving to Houston.
Okay.
And Houston will be our home.
Nice.
So we'll build out from here and about 6 other locations that I can't go into too much detail.
Yeah, we know there's some things you can't talk about. Don't worry, we're gonna make you dig into some of the other parts about running the country. How many minutes we got in this segment, Jonathan? He's not paying any attention to me. Yeah, I know. How many minutes we got in this segment? 4 still. Okay, we got that. So coming in and starting the company. All right. So here you are. There's Laura. She's got business partner. What was the first thing that you said? Okay, I've got to build this first before I can start moving.
It wasn't really it was more just the drive. I wanted to get it done. And I took, COVID's been the greatest opportunity for me. I've met more people and gotten further in 6 months than I probably would have in 5 years. And I give credit to LinkedIn for that. I give credit to people being able to open up and people being bored and saying, hey, you want to talk? Okay. And, but I took the opportunity. I decided that I needed to push now, and I'm also, like I said, a single mom. I've got to put food on the table,
right?
And it's they're watching every move I make.
That was the hardest part. I know when I started. So here it is. We were making 6 figures, nice 6 figures, to okay, now there's no money coming.
Yeah,
it's like, but we're working 3 times as hard.
Yeah, if not harder. Yeah,
and it's like, what the hell? How does this happen? And where do we go? And what happens? And kind of move through there. That's what I always found was the hardest part of starting a business.
Oh, yeah.
I was like reading constantly. I ended up picking up, I don't know if you see it, the Startup Bible. Things about this thick, and started reading, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this in my business plan. I got to do this. What was the hardest thing to start doing, when it came to putting a business plan together?
All of it. I mean, when someone asked me, so what are you going to name your business? I was like, I don't know. It's all of it was, it's a risk. COVID made the risk worth taking because there was no jobs to be had anyway.
Right.
But it's just, when I got laid off, it gave me more energy than I had, because it's a challenge. I like challenges. It's not a problem, it's a challenge. But you're right, the biggest obstacle is you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
And I've been giving all these opportunities, and I still have different investors saying, hey, I want to do this with you. I want to do this for you. I want to do this for you. And I have to choose, and that's not a bad spot to be in, but it is stressful because it's how fast can we move? Is this the right team? Is it going to be the right culture? Where is this going to take me globally? And how do we proceed? Yeah,
that was it. When we were looking to take money, is, how do we, okay, here's what we put together as our core values, and here's what we wanted to do.
Right.
And okay, how do you fit?
Yeah.
It was funny. We did an interview with a guy that was in the medical device industry, because this startup we had at the time, we wrote organizational processes and procedures. Made it we used to call it corporate knowledge capture and transfer. So we figured out how the smart guys worked in a company, and then kind of put it on paper or put it into technology, so people 20 years from now could figure out how you thought and how you solved problems.
Oh, wow.
And we brought a guy in, and he was in the medical industry, and he wanted to interview somebody that had used our product. And we brought in a friend of mine, and she had taken this startup, this medical facility that was just losing money and took it to like $8 million in 4 years.
Yeah.
And then all he did was rip on her. It's like, and I'm texting the guy that brought her. I said, dude, this guy is not it.
Oh,
this
boy.
guy is, no, I don't care how much money he's going.
Yeah. No, I mean,
No, I don't want to have him anywhere near us.
Billions and
You know,
millions.
if you're not the right person. Well, let's go. We're gonna be going. We got about 30 seconds left in this segment. Usually I tell people ask them how to get a hold of you, but right now it's LinkedIn, right?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is the place to find Laura, and we're going to get Jonathan. He'll throw that up on the screen here in a minute. But we're going to come back, Laura. And what I want to do is when we come back from this little commercial break, we're going to go to. I want to talk about. We talked a lot about leadership when we met, and I want to get your takes on how your trip has gone from leadership in corporate America to now how you see yourself leading a new company.
Okay.
And hearing from that and hearing your thoughts on leadership. Sound good?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Jonathan, it's over to you now.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hi, this is Alberto Tudela. The Houston metro area has experienced a substantial increase of wind and hail damage, flooding, and other perils in the last 5 years. Now more than ever, it is critical and essential to ensure your company, your property, as well as your family have the right insurance coverage. Tudela Insurance Solutions offers a wide variety of insurance for home, auto, property, as well as life insurance. My goal is to find a tailored option that guarantees the right coverage at the right price, specific to your needs, present and future, so you protect what matters the most. Call me today at 713-714-4475 and allow our team at Tudela Insurance Solutions to make sure you're protected. Accidents never happen when we expect them. Now is the time to ensure you have peace of mind.
Do you want to experience the ease and convenience of the latest and most advanced home security system? Are you going away on vacation and want to have peace of mind while you're not at your home or at your office? According to the FBI, a robbery occurs every 13 seconds, and homes and businesses without a security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. Hawk Security provides security solutions to residential and small businesses in the state of Texas and from California to Georgia, building a custom-tailored security setup that matches your needs. Whether it is home security, fire and carbon monoxide detection, flood detection, connected senior care, managed video surveillance solutions, alarm monitoring, and life safety. In addition to fire and carbon monoxide detection, Hawk Security has a smart home and business integration, expanding security services to a lifestyle solution, keeping customers connected to their home and businesses from anywhere in the world, from their tablet or mobile device, so you can have peace of mind even if you're not at home or in your office. Reduce your energy cost, scheduling automatic changes in thermostats or lighting. And because we rely on our heroes every single day, Hawk Security offers security services discounts to military personnel, veterans, first responders, educators, and hospital personnel. Our mission is to keep our clients safe, treat them like family, and provide them with a user-friendly security system with personalized customer service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For integrity, honesty, passion, and excellent customer service, take a strong step today toward getting protected and call Rosanna Torres at 832-863-8574, because every home and business is unique and every security system should be unique too.
Hey, it's your business guide, Michael Rager, and I'm back with Laura Statler. Laura, all right, we were talking there in the break. Those of you that are watching us on Facebook, you can hear some of that stuff in the background. The rest of you, you're not privy to it. So let's talk about leadership. That's something we talked about a lot when we met a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So this leadership was pretty strong in your background. And how has it gone from being a leader while working for a big company? You know, so you're a small piece in a giant company, to now you're going to be pushing yourself into a place where you've got to lead and cast a vision for people to actually follow you.
It's a lot, and I don't view myself as someone for them to just follow or anything. I need to find people that I see as leaders that I can surround myself with and get that experience. But going from these other companies, which I was working for small companies, and I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. And so this was a huge jump for me. Mm-hmm. And I try not to focus too much on that side of it. But on the same note, I look at it and go, you know what, I've got a global vision. I see the picture. I know it can happen. And I get excited meeting the people that also can see the picture, even if they see some of it, but they're, passionate about it. I love that they can be on my team. I've got one gentleman on my team named Jason he gets so excited and energized. And he knows everything about these trailers. Right. And it's amazing. And I'm just like, just run with it. Go. You're going to do great. And that's my goal as a leader in today's time. It's how can I drive efficiency, effectiveness, and how can I get a good team culture where we're comfortable with each other so we can really grow this thing efficiently, and as we scale, we can scale it effectively. Yeah,
it's when we first started talking, I let you know I work with John Maxwell, and I got to go to John's house one day, and I got one of my favorite pictures is I have a picture of me and John and his mugshot when he got arrested for taking a pistol through security in West Palm Beach Airport. That's my John Maxwell picture in my house.
He's great.
So he is. He's a great guy. But as you said, your job as leader now is to cast a vision and bring people in to follow. I know when he talked about when he was forming Equip, when he formed Equip, he said, "Look, the vision is we're going to train 1 million leaders worldwide." Mm-hmm. He goes, "That was the hardest part." He said setting that vision and figuring out what you want to do was really the hardest part. So when you start looking at saying you're going to build a global company, you're seeing way bigger than even 99% of other business owners, because they're not seeing that far. They can't see past the end of their street.
Notice that. Quite literally these days.
When we were talking about the new company, we said, I showed you our vision is to connect 100,000 people in 10 years. Yeah. And people are like, oh my God, that's, 10,000 people a year. And it's like, yeah. Right. But they don't see it. So when you go and you start talking to people and you start seeing that there's somebody that's potentially to come into your organization, what do you start thinking about when thinking that, this may be a good person?
I think how excited, I get excited that they might have an opportunity with me, right? Mm-hmm. But more importantly, I look at everyone as a potential ally, someone to collaborate with. Mm-hmm. And the more people I can find to collaborate with, I'm not scared to talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. And when I meet some of these executives of these large firms in oil and gas, especially, who are saying, well, this is what we've been doing for so long. And I'm thinking, yeah, but you're so experienced and have so much success that we could build on and with. Mm-hmm. How can I just work with you? And I lead that way. And eventually it might be the time where I can say, be on my team. Mm-hmm. But right now it's how do we work together? How do we come to the same table without being cutthroat? And we can build an alliance that really makes this infrastructure build out quickly but efficiently, and not be like what oil and gas did so long ago with being cutthroat and having walls between us. How do we tear down the walls? And that's what I'm aiming for.
Well, that's why we were talking about the ESG stuff. That's my whole vision, is to bring people from different companies and different industries together to talk about ways that we change the environmental footprint that corporations bring, the social interactions on how they work, and how their governance is in the company, and how things change. Because I think so often big business gets pushed by its attorneys, and it gets pushed by its consultants, and it doesn't bring its smart people and say, sit down and talk.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's all about. And that's where I kind of built. It's really funny when I built Teach Your Business to Fish, you got to meet my son Cameron when we were here. And I really built it for two reasons. One is I wanted somebody else to pay for my fishing trips. And two is I wanted him to go and meet smart, brilliant people like you and other leaders and not be afraid of them growing up. Because when I grew up, my dad was a cop and I got to meet judges and lawyers. And so, here I am, this kid hanging out with a cop. And then I got all these guys that are wearing, $500 Armani suits when I go to these places. And I'm like, in awe. And, it's funny when you talked about going to meet some of these guys. I worked on a pipeline. God, it was a Great Lakes gas pipeline, and I worked for some of the executives from Great Lakes Gas came out, and they wanted to see it be done. So I was the lead environmental guy, and we're walking around, and we're showing them silt fence, and we're walking around. There's silt fence going up around this construction site, and there's like the guy's looking at it, and he goes, "Well, okay, but silt fence, the water goes through it, and it's still dirty." It's like, well, it doesn't really work like that. And here's what happens. So it took the guy around for about 2 hours. It was a gray day like it was here yesterday. Mm-hmm. So after about 2 hours, I said, come on, man, let's go to lunch. So we go to lunch, we go have a few beers. And so here I'm with, C-level executive of the company. Yeah. About 18 months later, I ended up getting interviewed by Great Lakes. And I was out in Oregon, and they were looking at a new head of environmental, and they were talking to me. I was only like 29 at the time. Wow. So I was like, there's no way they're going to hire me. And so they bring me up to this floor, and I go through these elevators. It's nothing but marble. Wow. I mean, the assistant is sitting at a marble desk, and there's these two giant mahogany doors. And I go walking in, and the guy's like turned back to me, and I'm like, holy shit, who is this dude? Yeah. And he turns around, and he goes, Mike. It was the same guy that we were out drinking beers, and I'm like, oh, okay, this made this way easier.
Yeah.
But I ended up not getting the job. It was really weird. I got the job, but they had offered it to somebody else first, and they turned it down. They offered it to me. I took it, and I started to pack up and leave. And I already gave up my apartment, and the other person changed their mind.
Wow.
And they rescinded it from me and gave it to that person.
Wow.
It was, oh, man, that sucked.
Yeah.
But you're going up into those offices. You've been in some those big shiny offices now, and it's different, isn't it?
Oil and gas it's a new extreme for sure. I grew up around health insurance my whole life, and I saw some very nice areas and grew up in beautiful areas, but so nothing really surprises me with those. And I look at that, and I look at people, and all I want to know is what can I learn from them, and look past all of that. But oil and gas is something that is definitely, you go into some of these offices and you're like, holy cow, did you really need all of this?
Yeah. I remember the first one I had to go to one in Kansas City. And, here's where I think this is where I think lawyers get into too much stuff. But I had to wear a suit to go into this thing, and I had to wear steel toes. Mm-hmm. So here I'm wearing my $1,000 suit, and I got steel toe boots. Yeah. And it's like, well, why? Well, because everybody's got to wear steel toes here. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah. But I love my steel toe boots. That was one thing that I still miss it. I still have them, and I still use them in my yard. But I loved going out to the rigs and then going to the offices. Sometimes I'd get so excited going into the office, I'd still have my steel-toed boots on. I'd see all the looks going, really? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I forgot. Mm-hmm.
So let's go on the leadership thing. How did you get involved in leadership? Because we talked about you did a lot of stuff for John and some stuff early in your career. So
yeah, I grew up in a very leadership centric household of siblings that were always involved with it. My father's a beautiful leader, so is my mom. John Maxwell was in all of my education pretty much at TCU and even at Sam Houston. Then I started working for LeaderCast, which is a leadership consulting firm pretty much. We're bringing in people to watch these seminars. And it was great. It was while I was moving from Pittsburgh to Texas, and I got to sit there and study all this leadership, and that helped kind of refresh my mind after 10 years of being a stay-at-home mom. And it was like, okay, this is just a mindset. We got this.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, as I've been pushing a lot of, I don't know if you follow Brendan Burchard at all, but I've been pushing to the people that I coach. Brendan's, it's called Motivation Manifesto, and it is just a total change in mindset on how you've got to start looking at yourself to really help others.
Right.
And that's what it's about. And it's very interesting about throwing out some of the stuff that's clogged in our head.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's so much junk in our heads.
Oh, I mean, absolutely, and trying to get yourself clear mindset and have yourself, some new boundaries, and really, take time to write some things out and take time to and say, okay, what can I do that's also, I learned this actually from Linda Galindo, and she's fantastic consultant, and she teaches accountability. And I was actually her intern for some time. But it was, how are you accountable to yourself and to your team? And if you can go from there and show that accountability and respect, you can take your team anywhere.
Oh yeah, it is. They all got to follow us. One of the trainings that I do when I go in the companies, and I put up a picture of Hitler and Gandhi, and I ask them which one's the better leader. Because if you follow John's definition of leadership, it's influence, nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
Both very influential people. One just had a really shitty message.
Yeah.
But if you follow it, people get around, and a lot of times organizations don't realize that the person that they think is leading is not really leading. Right. And we've seen it in our country. We've had a lot of that's gone on, and we need to get there. And I remember, I think it was 2019, 2015, right before the 2016 election. Maxwell was talking about how he was approached to run for president during that campaign, and it was very interesting on his decision making, because if those of you that know who John is, he's former pastor, and he said he made this, it was a very impactful statement to me. He goes, there's a lot of people, if I got elected president, that would be mad at me because I won't be running the country as the United Christian States of America. It would have to be the United States of America, because Christianity has just as much influence as any other religion in this place. So those are really things that we need to be looking at, and how we step up and make some changes. So Jonathan tells me I need to shut up so we can go, and he's being very nice back there because my son's back there and he's got his mask on and I can't read his lips this time. So it's all good. So we're going to go to another break. We're going to be back with Laura. We're going to talk a little bit about the fun stuff of owning a business after this. So we'll be right back.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The Now Media Video Business Card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The Now Media Video Business Card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hi, this is Alberto Tudela. The Houston metro area has experienced a substantial increase of wind and hail damage, flooding, and other perils in the last 5 years. Now more than ever, it is critical and essential to ensure your company, your property, as well as your family have the right insurance coverage. Tudela Insurance Solutions offers a wide variety of insurance for home, auto, property, as well as life insurance. My goal is to find a tailored option that guarantees the right coverage at the right price, specific to your needs, present and future, so you protect what matters the most. Call me today at 713-714-4475 and allow our team at Tudela Insurance Solutions to make sure you're protected. Accidents never happen when we expect them. Now is the time to ensure you have peace of mind.
Hi, this is Scarlett Horton. You may remember me from the morning news. We know that finding the right team for your painting project can be overwhelming, and if not done right, a painting project can easily go over your budget. At CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, our professionals will ensure your residential or commercial painting projects run smoothly and are convenient for your schedule, leaving you time for what matters most. CertaPro of Central Houston has been serving the Houston metro area for more than a decade and has a solid reputation. You can read reviews from our clients and see examples of our work on our social media pages, letters of recommendation, website, and Google reviews. Additionally, at CertaPro Painters of Central Houston, we warranty our work for 2 years. We offer free color consultation. We do residential and commercial jobs, interior and exterior, and we are licensed and insured. Not to mention, we are experts in painting cabinets. CertaPro is the largest painting contractor in the USA. Our crews are not only qualified and skilled painters, they are the best at what they do, and we are always on time. Let our experts at CertaPro of Central Houston transform your home and business. Our proven process gives you more time to enjoy moments that matter in the spaces you love. Alfredo, Mallory, and John are experienced professionals who will work with you every step of the way to ensure a flawless finish. Call us today at 713-824-5166 and let CertaPro of Central Houston handle with ease, efficiency, and high professionalism your next residential and commercial painting project, because the world needs color.
All right, it's your business guide, Michael Ridge. We're back with Laura Stadler. Those of you that are watching us live on Facebook, you're not hearing the behind the scenes. Yeah, see, my son gave Laura a kiss, one like this. He came out. He's making sure Dad stays fat. You know, just fatten me up for Christmas and all that stuff. That it's good. You said you're a mom. Yeah, boys, girls. What do you got?
2 boys.
2 boys. How old?
10 and 6.
10 is so they're his age and doing that fun stuff.
They keep you busy.
They do that. So let's talk a little bit about the major vision of this company.
Okay.
You say globally. What's the 5-year?
I mean, I could sit here and talk for days about it, but the main thing is right now we build out the backbone for hydrogen, and we make it easier for people to connect the dots from coast to coast. The other part is storage. How do we store hydrogen? What's the other part of hydrogen that makes it economic? CO2 is another huge part of this. And working with large companies, industrial clusters, and getting them all to buy into it and work together on those things, and storage and filtration systems. And it's working the different energy sectors to make sure that they can make hydrogen transported, seeing how we can be beneficial to them, whether it be by zones or be by technology. And one of my exciting projects is on the offshore division, and that's looking at existing infrastructure and seeing how we can retrofit it. But our main goal is to keep utilizing oil and gas experience and blend it into this new transition with hydrogen. And it's we looking at all these different structures that we can use and globally that we can use, and creating these virtual highways and virtual pipelines, not just for the roads, but for the shipping industry and for exports.
So with CO2, how's that going to come in? Are you guys looking to do carbon capture and transfer, or?
There's a lot with that side.
There's a ton of stuff in that side.
It's a lot of fun to see what people are doing and what some of the capabilities are. The main thing is, can we capture it? Yes, we're going to capture it. What do we do with it then? And is there an end use? There are end uses. I don't want to just store it.
Right.
I think that's going to be something that's going to be an issue to a lot of people later on down the road.
Right.
But if we can create it into a filtration system in a way, I can't go into too much detail about it right now, but it's going to be very exciting for a lot of companies that want to come in at the wellhead.
That's kind of cool, because I remember, go back to the 90s. We were looking at doing some stuff with spill cleanups and stuff like that, and we were looking at ways of we were using some trees that could actually suck this stuff up and utilize it, and then use the trees for carbon capture as well. And it was very interesting, because it's those of you that don't realize this, when you get into a big oil and gas type project, the permitting side, there's all this stuff on the back end that people have no idea what happens. These things take 4, 5, 6 years to permit on the conservative side.
Right.
And that's where my specialty, I use a FERC expert, when I was there. So I was on the construction side. I used to do a lot on the plans and procedures.
Poor thing.
It's really funny. It was so easy for me. I didn't have to think. That's part of the reason why I left, is it was so easy and I didn't have to think anymore.
Yeah.
And I got sick of fighting.
Yeah.
I got to the point when I first got in the industry, I fought with the construction people because they didn't want to do anything to be compliant. And then at the end, it was fighting with the feds because we were doing things right, but they wouldn't accept what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm just sick of this. And people just don't want to. I mean, I walked away from a $30,000 a month job. I just one day just gave them the double birds and said, I'm done.
There's some things in life that deserve that, you know?
Can't do this anymore.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't get out of, because it's like, just listening to you talk, whenever you talk about your company, I know when you pop out of bed in the morning, you're like, woohoo.
I am. My kids are like, Mom, I don't want to hear about hydrogen anymore.
Yeah, I could care less about hydrogen, Mom.
Right.
But, with me, it's at the time, I didn't even want to get out of bed. You know, that was the thing. And, kind of going from there. You coming in here, Jonathan's sneaking in, he's doing some stuff. Adjusting cameras. Oh, okay. So, I mean, those are the things that you see. So when you're building this and you have your kids involved, mine, like we were telling you, mine's got his own little company. I told you, he was my very first guest on this, on this show. What do you and your kids do for fun? I mean, where's the mom and the boys? What do you guys all do when you go rock?
With my kids, it's Nerf wars, and I even keep a Nerf gun on my desk so that when I'm in a Zoom call and they come in to prank me, I can shoot them out. Shoot
them before they get there.
But it's and pulling pranks on each other. But I've got one son that loves sports, and we're constantly going to baseball games or hockey, whatever it might be. Another one that my little one, he loves to build things. He likes to do Legos. He likes to go outside and ride in his little truck. But I'm a stay-at-home mom with them, and it's a free-for-all with them, and I just try to enjoy the moment with them.
Because it's going to change.
That's a sore subject, but I mean, because that's I've tried to use this time to really bring them into what I'm doing, and see kind of push their imagination. I showed them an offshore platform, and I said, hey, what would you do with this? And just imagine this is huge. Here's a video of what it looks like. And, my one son was like, what if we had drones come to this and it was just the recharging station and then it could deliver ice cream? I'm like,
there you go.
I'm like, I like the first part. That was really, and I do like the second part. That's good. And so I really try to push their imagination side. I give them blank notebooks all the time, like draw something, or here's what I'm working on, draw something, figure something out with it.
Yeah, I do it with him. When we were creating, the website for the ESG leaders. Hey, come here, look at this. Give me your perception. Listen to them. They actually see things different than we do.
They do.
And it's the important thing. We go back to, we were talking last segment about leadership. Leadership comes when you let people bring their perspective to the table.
Yes.
And it's amazing when you bring young people's perspective to the table. They see so many possibilities.
They do.
And it's amazing, and going from there. So how do you see bringing this in with the kids? I mean, they're gonna watch mom grow this thing and mom become this global phenomenon of the hydrogen queen. And how does that work?
It's a little scary, and it's especially once COVID is done and thinking of the travel involved with it. They watched how I started off with just a couple notebooks and trying to figure it out and different people. And, every time my son comes home and one of his complaints was, Mom, every time I go into your office, you're on the phone with all these men that I can't even understand half of them because I'm talking to people from around the world on Zoom. And it's been nice. I've been able to open up to some of them to say, here's my son, could you say hi? And they're getting to, witness all these different people from around the world that are leaders and tell them different things. They might move their camera for a second to show them something different. And then after the call is over, him and I would go and look at the map and say, this is where they were. This is what's there. This is what they're dealing with. What do you think about it? And I hope I can bring them into this as much as possible. But they're at ages that It's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, no, it's mine. He's fine. He's into business. He likes business. He likes the math side of it.
Oh,
and he likes the money side.
Yeah,
He likes when
don't
he
we
gets
all?
he likes when he gets paid. And I go, yeah, those are the best days. So when you go this, so is your goal with this? Is it to grow it and sell it? Is it to grow it and keep growing it, or is it?
My goal is, everyone tells me, what's your exit strategy?
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a way to look at an exit strategy is, sell it and move on. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as something that I hope I can always have a hand in, inspire the next team to really jump in and keep pushing it and keep pushing it so that when I can end my career one day, I can look back and see their success.
Right.
And see the things that have bridged off of it and just continue building these bridges off of just the beginning. This is the launch point.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's one of the first questions I always ask business owners when they come to me. And what's the end game?
Yeah.
I just like it because at least if I know the end game, I know the target that I'm shooting for.
Right.
It's that target can always change, and thus tactics and strategies change with it. But we do have to have some idea where in the heck we're going.
Right.
In a short term. One of the things I love to do is one of my friends, a guy named Cameron Harold, he used to be COO of 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Okay.
Before it became helped build it to a $300 million company. And one of his books is called Double Double. And in it, at the time, he called it building a painted picture. So it was painting the picture of your life 3 years from today. And here's the exercise he gave, and I give it to my clients: is you get in a time machine, you jump out 3 years from today. What do you see in your life?
Oh gosh.
Oh my God, what does your office look like? How many team members do you have? Where do you have? And I tell people it's like you can't do it in your office when you do that exercise. You just need to get that yellow pad. That's my thing. I take my yellow pad and a cigar and a glass of whiskey, and I go sit somewhere and just start writing.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting because I did this myself at the beginning of last year, and I started looking and I just went back and reviewed it, and I started seeing how many things have come.
Yeah.
How we're moving towards those things already. And actually, a lot of people, I share that painted picture because I've actually had somebody rewrite it for me, and we put it into a nice PDF and all that stuff. And so I can say, oh, hey, Laura, here's where I'm going.
Yeah.
And what you see is the more you share that, the more people show up to help you get it.
Yeah.
And it's very, very amazing. So what do we got, Jonathan? Like 3 minutes left? He's not paying any attention to me again. Hey, Jonathan, what, 3 minutes? 5. Okay. So this last 5 minutes, I want you to come up with, you're going to be talking to your sons 10, 15 years from now.
Oh boy.
I know. Right? Tough questions. What do you want them to see that mom's done? And what do you want them to see that they can continue mom's legacy? Just doesn't have to be in the industry, but what do you want them to see?
I want them to see that, they can do anything, that what they have in their mind is not just an imagination, and that there's still a way to look at the world that doesn't have problems but challenges to conquer, and to use them as obstacles, and to be excited about those challenges, and that work doesn't have to be just a job. That you can pour into it and you can bring your family into it and have that balance. There might be some hard times, but you just keep driving. And they've been through a lot in their life, as well as myself. And I hope they can see that they watched their mom conquer those obstacles, and that they have a mom that has taught them how to succeed, whether that means making a lot of money or not.
Well, money is always fun. It makes it. Trust me, it's way more fun making 6 figures than not.
Sure, but it's the whole thing, right? I want them, it's the communication for them to understand that the world is communication, and if you can communicate, you can do anything. And it's watching how you can talk to people and how you can have those relationships in business and at home, and make those bridges for people. How do you help people?
Yeah.
And how can you have a humanitarian side to everything? We've got a huge human trafficking initiative,
right?
And that's something that I hope that they see, that you can have a balance between building a business and still helping the world.
Yeah, I've got one of my clients. She's a pretty successful realtor here in Houston, and she does a lot philanthropically with sex trafficking and stuff like that. And there's a gentleman, Tony Roberts, that